Hey, everybody.
What up?
Welcome to our Paranormal World. Tex is busy watching things on his phone. Breezy's here with me. And we're happy you're here too. Aren't we, Breezy?
Of course.
Of course. Did you have a good week?
Yeah. It was all right. It was kind of mundane. Um, Nothing special. Nothing bad, nothing good. But midnight tonight is Jim's birthday.
Oh,
So yeah. So I've been getting earfuls of that all week. You know, it's my birthday, right?
yeah.
Friday's my birthday, right?
You better know.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, for the seventh time today, you reminded me. So
She just
she
wants to make
used,
sure that you remember. It's her
she
birthday,
used,
you know.
yeah, she used to be really bad. Like when I first met her, she literally considered the entire month her birthday. She's like,
Oh,
it's my birthday. Today's my birthday. And I'm like, no, you have 30 more days. Sorry.
I don't think I was ever that super excited for it to be March. Except I think when I turned 18 and when I turned 21, those were the two birthdays that I was like, yeah.
Smoking and drinking legally. Yeah.
All the rest of them were like, nah. And the older I get, I'm like, yeah. What's up?
Mine was always just an excuse to party.
Are you watching those trailers? Yeah. So our topic tonight are Crossroads and all the witchcraft and demons and devils and deals that you can make on the Crossroads. And I got the idea to do this because I watched two trailers. There's two trailers out now for a movie that's coming out in April called Sinners. And if you haven't watched the trailer for this yet, both of them, you got to watch both of them. They're both great, but I like the second trailer a little better. You need to check out the trailers, and then when this movie opens on April 18th, you need to run on down and check it out because I know that Breezy and Tex and I are going to be talking about it at some point because this looks like a hell of a movie. And all you just think Dusk Till Dawn meets Oh Brother Where Art Thou, because it definitely takes place in the 20s. It definitely takes place in the deep South. And it's got vampires, it's got crossroad demons, it's got it all. So go on and check it out. Yeah, I don't think you'll be disappointed checking those.
Yep, it definitely looks interesting. Yeah, but I agree that so even though the first one is full length time wise, it's kind of a teaser because I was still like I was kind of lost. I was thinking like a Robert Johnson type of a flick. I didn't know what
Right.
I it didn't give me the hint. But then by the second one, I was like, oh, I know what we're dealing with. Because there's
Mhm.
like two instances in it where yeah, it shows what they're dealing with.
Yeah, so
But
the first trailer, they come knocking on the door, and it's clearly they're vampires because they're asking to be invited in. But then as the
well,
trailer
yeah,
progresses, you see something disappear in a like a whirlwind of fire, and I thought, oh, well, that's a demon. So what's up there? I was like,
yeah. Well, I didn't catch that part in the first one. I was like, what am I? Why? Like, and then and what really threw me off, not to spoil a trailer, I guess if you can,
mhm.
but there's a lot of daytime action, right? Like when he's got
Yeah,
the arsenal and he's freaking, so that threw me off as far as what up, JoJo? As far as the monster aspect to it, I was like, what's he freaking letting off that?
You know,
Yeah,
you know, the hell am I doing here? Okay. You know who ought to be in this conversation?
who
Eddie from Eddie and Jim.
for Crossroad Demons?
Yes.
Okay. Did they study that or
He's
anybody been to a
related to
Crossroad?
he's related to he's
Oh,
related.
really?
Yeah.
See, now his family's come out and tried to dispel all of that and say that it
Right.
was.
Yeah.
Well, that's like his great grandfather or his grandfather, or something like that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Roberts is.
that's interesting.
Yeah. Then weren't they on? They were on that documentary. It was a more recent documentary, say within the last 4 years. Because like when it comes down to Robert Johnson, like I've been on that since I was a kid.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I was all over it. When I saw the movie Crossroads with freaking Ralph Macchio, like
Never
that
saw it.
set it off for me.
Is that about him?
Yeah,
no idea.
kind of. It's about Ralph Macchio's a huge fan of Robert Johnson, wants to solve the mystery synapses or half synapses. And in one of Robert Johnson's songs, he talks about his friend Willie Brown in the Crossroads. So he goes and he thinks that he found Willie Brown. He's in a nursing home, and he wants to take him to sneak him out and take him to go solve the mystery. And yeah, then that's your homework, Monica.
Oh, yeah, I'm totally going to check it out now. I like Ralph Macchio. I like the Karate
Yeah, he
Kid.
was cool. It was right after he was off the Karate Kid, and then Ray Don Chong was in it, and I had a freaking huge crush on her.
I haven't seen her in a long time.
Yeah. Oh, I was head over heels over that.
I think a lot of people were. She's very beautiful.
No doubt about that.
Yeah.
I don't know what she had. She got it from her mother. It damn sure wasn't from her daddy.
Yeah, it sure wasn't from Daddy. I can tell you that. Just enough of Daddy. Yes, I don't know.
Yeah. And Wedge is correct. Steve Vai plays the champion on that. It does excellent guitar in that whole movie.
Really?
Really good stuff. Yeah.
Like Devil Went Down to Georgia kind of thing, but with guitar.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, cutting heads. That's what they call it.
So we'll talk about Crossroads, but I mean, a lot of, obviously, the deals with the devil or the deals with the demons is what a lot of people know, but the Crossroads are for more than just that. There's a lot of hoodoo, which I know probably the most about, like in relation to like things that can be done at the Crossroads. But Crossroads, I mean, in a lot of cultures, like dating way back, was pretty significant, right? Because they used to hold executions at the Crossroads. They used to bury criminals and suicides and excommunicated at the Crossroads, because they thought, your spirit's going to rise and you get confused by the multiple roads. You wouldn't know where to go.
Right.
And it was probably pretty convenient if they were, holding executions at the Crossroads, just to, put them right there. And it's not
town square.
The middle of what?
The middle of town square, right at the crossroads of town square.
Well, they were, a lot of times they were outside of town, though. They would do it outside of the village because they didn't want that kind of BS in their like borders.
Yeah, I'm thinking more Western, 1700s, 1800s.
I got you. Yeah, it used to be pretty common practice in Great Britain. I mean, like dating back to like Anglo-Saxons, and they actually abolished it. They kind of, I don't know if outlawing it is really what you'd call it, but they abolished the practice in like 1860 something. I got it written, 1823. So that's pretty recent to me, like considering that's pretty recent. So you can think about my 3 times great grandparents were probably, if they were in England or Britain, they probably were not unaccustomed to seeing that kind of thing, which is cool. And then,
I just the whole Crossroads thing when it comes to, and I know when you talk about Crossroads, everybody thinks, okay, just Crossroads. But to me, there's a deeper meaning there, because I don't necessarily think that it's actually talking about Crossroads. And sometimes, you know what I'm saying? I think it's talking about more of a crossroads in your life.
Well, yeah. Well, I
Yep.
mean, you have to put that into context for me, but
Yeah.
I mean, I see what you're saying. Like you're at
Yeah.
a junction where you need to make a decision, right? A different
Right.
road that you can take, which for sure, I mean, all of us reach those.
Metaphorical. Yeah. Metaphorical as well as physical. Yeah.
But as far as like deals in spell casting and just doing general,
Yeah.
stuff, that's an actual crossroad. And there's like so many. I think a lot of people just think of like the four-way crossroad,
Mhm.
right? They think of that as a typical crossroad, but there are a lot of different crossroads, and they all have different meanings. So the four-way cross, right, that everybody thinks of. So in spell work and in hoodoo, that four-way crossroad is like a general kind of thing. It's like an all-purpose crossroad. You can do a lot of stuff there. And it's important to know that like the center of the crossroad is where all the power is, and that's where you would do whatever it is you're doing. And
Right.
in spell work, you can cast like the leftovers, like when you're burning a candle or you're doing whatever, you're going to have stuff left over, and a lot of people don't know what to do with that if they're, if they don't have any guidance, if they're just stepping into it. The center of the crossroads is where you would get rid of that stuff. And then there is there's the T crossroad, right? The T, how am I doing this? T crossroad. That's the male crossroad. So that's the one that you would do if you are like doing like anything male related. Like
Right.
if you were trying to get a dude to fall in love with you, you get some dirt from the center of that crossroad. You would do a little bit of spell work with that. And then you've got the Y crossroad, right? So this is a little different. So there's two types of Y crossroads. So there's just the standard Y, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are three sticks coming together, and that is the damned one. And that's where you would go to make your deals with the devil or the demons. That's where you go in hoodoo work if you're trying to talk to Papa Legba, you're trying to get messages across to the other side. That's where you would go for things like that. And then there is the divine one, which probably like draw. It's like a Y, where the center is worn out, so it looks kind of like a roundabout. So if the dirt is cleared in a manner to where the center is more circular, that would be considered a divine crossroad. And that's where you would go to ask for help in like more positive things. Because, you can ask for help with a lot of things that aren't negative. You don't have to summon demons. Not everything's about demons and devils at the crossroads either. So there's a lot. There's a lot that you can do if you're into that kind of thing at the crossroads. Did you guys do? I mean, Breezy, you knew I was going to talk about this. Tex didn't, so he's kind of just getting thrown into it. Did you look into anything with the crossroads?
The what now?
Did you look into anything regarding the crossroads?
That was funny.
Oh, you mean like? Well, see, no, I thought you were actually going for the Robert Johnson crossroads. So I was like, oh, I got this in a bag.
Well, let's talk about that then.
Because it goes all the way back to, like the Faustian bargain, right? And
right.
I forgot the name of the violinist dude. So I was thinking it was going to like the music direction of it, which is like what Tex was saying. So like whenever you say crossroads, to me, what identifies in my nugget is the musician side of things, but it's really about riches and fame and popularity, right? And so you make the deal, you become famous, and what I don't necessarily believe is the whole soul thing, like you sell your soul to the devil, then you can play a guitar or whatever, you become famous. Mm-hmm. But it's like kind of like what Tex was saying. It's a crossroads in life. So if you are given all the money you want, the riches, the fame, the women, the whole 9 yards, it allows you to make more poorer and poorer moral decisions.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So,
well, I think if you're
you know,
going to like sell your soul or potentially sell your soul, that you're already at that like that interior crossroad, right? That moral crossroads. Because I was actually having this conversation at lunch today with a friend of mine who didn't know anything about any of this. And I just happened to mention that I was doing that on the show tonight. And I was explaining, you know, the crossroads to him and specifically the deals that are made. And he said, what is worth potentially damning yourself for eternity? Because if you're acknowledging that there are deals that you can make with demons and devils, and you're acknowledging that hell is real, which means on the flip side, heaven is real, everything's real. Right. So if you are killed or the hellhounds get you before your contract is up and you're taken down to hell and you are turned into a demon, like, was that 10 years or whatever your contract time was for worth it? For, you know, you get 10 years of whatever. And it's typically, it's not monetary usually immediately. It's, you go there to make a deal to get better at a trade or dancing. You know, it's something like that. It's not like, oh, I want to be beautiful and famous. You know, that's too vague. Right. You've got to have something. And then your contract, your allotted time in your contract is stipulated. But then, you know, all kinds of stuff's going to happen. They're going to try to kill you. They're going to send the hellhounds after you. And if they get you before that contract's up, you go south.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. And then you're acknowledging that you're fighting for the losing team, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like, oh yeah. But then again, ego and the want to be famous and all that can easily, cut that logic off in your nugget. Kind of like on Oh Brother Where Art Thou, always like, oh, you sold your immortal soul. You're like, well, I wasn't using it none.
To them sirens in the river that turned him into toads, turned him into a horny toad.
She done turned him into a horny toad.
But yeah, dude was like, well, I wasn't using it none. So, it's like it clouds your better judgment, and I guess, that's the same kind of concept, if you're not spearheaded in a certain direction for your goals in life, or you're not getting what you feel like you want to achieve out of it, then that's when you start second guessing, and that's where the second road comes in. If you're on the straight highway, even if it is a lost highway, as long as you're on it, you know where you're trying to go, then there's no intersections. But once you start second guessing or trying to get off that road, then all of a sudden, exit up left or right.
Shortcut. It's a shortcut.
Yeah.
It's a shortcut with a really crappy ending.
Yeah. And so that's why I didn't do my homework, because I thought that's where we were going with it. And I was like, cool. No, I got it.
I mean, that's what most people associate Crossroads with. So, I mean, that's fair.
Well, that and the picture didn't help none.
Well, I mean, yeah. Crossroad demons.
Yeah.
I was going to dive more into like the deals, but then I was like, yeah, there's way too much more to it than just going there and making deals. To be able to dance or sing or play guitar or play the fiddle or play, do whatever. There's way more to it than that. Now, I don't know that I'd go there and, leave too many offerings, because I'd be afraid of who would consider that like I'm looking for help. People will go there and, if I left my ritual leftovers, right? If I'm doing a spell and I got some candle wax and some whatever left over, I'd be afraid of dumping that in the middle of the dang thing too, because I'd be afraid of what spirit would be like, oh, what's going on here? What you got? Because, I mean, what you take and leave in the Crossroads, typically it's offerings for help from different things.
Right.
And, I mean, to make the deal, it's not like, oh, I left, some coins and a bottle of rum in the middle of the crossroads, and he's going to come and get me. Now, there's a very specific steps that you've got to take to it. Just like with the Faust deal, right? They go there and they draw the circles. He draws the circles, and you leave some sort of offering. It's usually copper, gold, silver, and then you recite some incantations, and then the demon, the devil, whatever you want to call it, is supposed to appear. But when you're making the deal, like for guitar playing, right? You've got to go there every night for 9 nights and practice. And and I'm oversimplifying this. And on the 9th night, either at midnight or like just before dawn, like a dark man, they call him a black man, but I don't know, like if that's like what we would consider black, or like a black demon, man with red eyes is going to show up, and they're going to show you how to do whatever it is you're looking to become an expert at. And after that, though, of course, there's negotiations in your contract and everything. But after that, then it's a done deal. Like, you've got it. And your allotted time, the clock starts ticking.
So do you think? Okay, go ahead, Tech.
Well, I'm just saying, when you start making deals like that, it's the stuff that there's no way, pardon the pun, there's no way in hell I would make a deal like that.
Hell no.
Because
nothing I need to know.
It's like everything benefits the house. I mean, that's there's loopholes, and I just keep thinking about the freaking movies Leprechaun, because no matter what deal they made with him, he turned it on them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just, you're not going to end. It's not going to end well. It's just not.
They're not writing contracts for the benefit of you. I can tell you that.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I mean, like I said, you'll get your allotted time. Let's say it's 10 years. There's a lot of hinky stuff that's going to start happening, because if you die before that contract is up, or if the hellhounds find you and get you, then your butt is, like I said, headed south, where once you get there, you turn into a demon. It's not just like you're there. Oh, no, you get to be one of those things too. I mean, and imagine like any sense of yourself, because I do think like when we move on, we keep a sense of ourself, right? Whether it's north or south, and all of that would be stripped away. I mean, and you would become literally the embodiment of evil. So no, I don't need to know how to play that violin that well. I don't need to learn how to sing that well.
No, I'm fine doing bad karaoke.
Yeah. I mean,
I just, nope. Big nope for me.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I can't imagine anything that is worth that.
Yeah, the interest is definitely way too high on that loan. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
Right? And they're looking to collect. Like, they're going to make things. They're going to, engineer things to happen to you along the way to try to collect early. Yeah, I'd be afraid to walk home that night for crying, like the car's going to hit me or something. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. And and it's not going to be that easy. You're going to suffer.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's always like, you're going to start drinking more. You're going to lose your family. Stuff's going to happen.
Whoa. Let's just slow down.
Not from drinking, but.
Not from drinking.
But consider it. People that are crazy famous or crazy rich, that comes with its own set of bullshit. Right. And, if you're not coming from that, if it's suddenly thrust upon you and you're used to life a certain way, and you and your family or life, specifically your spouse or your significant other are used to life a certain way, and all of a sudden, let's say you get famous, you got all kinds of people paying attention to you. Well, the old green-eyed monster pops up too, and that's never good. There's just like so many BS things, or you've got all the money to do whatever you want. Life becomes very boring, I think, after a while, when you can do literally whatever. You have to have something to look forward to. And when you don't have that, I mean, I think that that's what drives some like really wealthy people to some really nasty things. Like you hear about snuff films, right? Yeah. I mean, that's because they're literally bored because they can have anything they want. They need the stakes keep getting higher.
Yeah, you get so desensitized to everything because it's at your fingertips. So, but yeah, that's what I was getting at earlier is that same concept. Like once you become, that either wealthy or that famous or that powerful, then it opens up all this immorality for you to pick and choose from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's no stopping you. Like right now, if I wanted to go out and do something, have like a 20 chick orgy or something like that, it's not going to happen. It is not going to happen. But now if I was, had millions, or if I was extremely powerful, then yeah, it's totally plausible. And you go, oh, dude, you know what? I can go do that. And then you do, it's just like anything. You do it so many times, you're bored with it. And then it becomes 4, and then it becomes 40. Or then it becomes.
And then you got to keep trying new things and crazier things and whatever, right? It's like the adrenaline junkies, right?
Yeah, right.
Base jumping ain't enough after a while. You got to start doing some crazy stuff.
Yeah, forget the tower now, or the bridge. Now we go to towers, and then we go into planes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whatever. Same kind of concept. Sky's the limit. And then your Red Bull jumping out of the freaking upper atmosphere.
Well, you can only go so high. I mean, but do you think they saw? If you went up there, do you think you could see the curvature of the Earth?
He's used the fisheye lens, but we'll get into that some other time.
Yeah. It's the dome refracting the light, making it look like it's curved, but it's really not, I'm sure.
No, the camera on the inside, you can see it's completely flat, but the camera on the outside is fully fisheye.
Yeah. The camera on the outside?
The one that he used strapped to himself, yeah. And the ones that are on the bay door. That one's that's about as real as the Tesla car in space.
Tesla's car in space. Hey, Scott, thanks for that. I really appreciate it. That was pretty cool.
Tesla's car in space. What?
Remember when they launched that? Yeah, they launched that Tesla car. It looked like freaking. It looked like that cartoon Heavy Metal from the 70s. Like, it was so obviously CGI'd. And it's so fake because it looks that fake because it's real. Anyway.
I don't know. I'm going to type even harder because I heard you guys were making fun of my typing.
I made fun of you typing. Don't
Oh no, I've said my share.
Don't punish me. It was all me. I'll take that whooping.
I'm going to have to type extra hard and extra fast now. So, Crossroads. I mean, does anybody in the chat have any questions about Crossroads? Because this is actually a topic that I really do know quite a bit about.
So go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, in your research, how far back does it really go? What's the oldest? Does it go back to freaking Egypt? Or
no, I don't remember anything I don't remember finding anything referring to Egypt. I think the oldest thing I got was like Anglo-Saxon, which like you're gonna make me like lie about the years those were because I don't remember. But
I got a car alarm going off outside. I gotta go check.
You better go check it out, dude.
It quit.
So like the 5th century, let's say. I want to say it was around there when they were popping up.
But yeah, the deals with things, I mean, that goes back as far as, you know.
Oh, I mean, well, making a deal with the devil goes back pretty far.
Yeah. But I mean, it's not just the devil. It could be kind of like how it goes with the Fae and all that. Like if you give them certain things or ask certain things from them, then you're not locked into a written contract, but you're locked into a contract.
Oh, they'll hold you to it.
If you don't take care of them and hold up your end of the bargain, they'll make your life a living hell, so to speak.
See, in phase, it's not as outright. Like this is an outright contract. Like you know what you're getting into. You're seeking it out, right? The Crossroads. You're seeking it out. You're giving a very specific amount of time, right? That you have before they really like set the dogs loose on you, literally. Whereas with the Fae, the contracts aren't as straightforward. You don't necessarily know. I mean, you can certainly seek them out. Like I've said before, I think the chick with the elf on the shelf, like probably did something similar. And because I mean, consider it. She's taking an elf and she's sticking it in everybody's home. She's giving it a cute backstory and she's sticking an elf in everybody's home. Like the kids are asking for it. That's a moneymaker for her, and it's getting the Fae in your home. So it's a win-win.
You really, I mean,
that's what.
I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I'm not like going to die on that hill, but I wouldn't be surprised if it were something.
Yeah, I think that was the same way with the Parker brothers and the Ouija board.
Yeah.
I think there was a ulterior motive to it. It's not just a game. They knew what they were doing.
What do you think, Tex? You seem dubious of that.
Well, I think there is definitely some stuff behind the whole Ouija board thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because we kind of did a show about this, and we were looking at the advertisements for these things. Every advertisement you put on, you bring up on it, the box cover, everything, the people are dressed in black. What the hell? So I would have to go back. Why does having an elf on the shelf invite the Fae? Is what I guess what I'm trying to go.
Because you're putting an effigy of the Fae in there, right?
But aren't you doing the same thing with Santa Claus? Because I mean, he's supposed to be actually an elf.
He's like the head elf.
Yeah.
Is he the head elf in traditional lore?
I don't know about traditional, but I have heard that. Like he's the big head elf.
Well, I mean, you've got the I think we've all heard the stories where he is like an elf, right? Because that's why he's living forever. He's got magic in it. So yeah, I mean, with the tooth fairies too, consider that. Tooth fairies the same thing.
Yeah.
We've all done that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that this is something new. I'm just saying Elf on the Shelf is the latest edition.
No, I mean,
but these are all like the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus are traditional lore, right?
Right.
And it's what has like been with us forever. Elf on the Shelf is pretty new, and that was invented by a human that was brought in pretty recently.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, and it's kind of dying on the vine. But I remember, the Elf on the Shelf in the heyday, and it was like everybody was Elf on the Shelf, Elf on the Shelf, screw your Elf on the Shelf. So,
like the pet rock.
Yeah.
I mean, I have an Elf on the Shelf. It was given to my son, and I didn't think two things of it. But then, so a folklorist that I know was bringing it up, and she was like, I wouldn't put an elf on the shelf in my house. And I stopped and I thought about it, and I was like, that makes sense. And then I really, really started thinking about it, and I was like, yeah, no, I see where you're coming from, and yeah, I agree. Because I mean, you don't think anything of it. It's stuffed freaking toy. It's a toy, just like a Ouija board. It's a toy.
Yeah.
So you don't think too much of it until you think of it. You think about it.
Right.
And then people go, "You lost your game."
Yeah, and then you tell people that off on the shelf's inviting the Fae in, and then you don't get invited to their house anymore.
Yeah.
And they cross the street when they see you coming.
Now, let me ask you this, Monica, because I know how you are about this whole Fae thing. I mean, and inviting them in, and when you go to somebody's house and they have a welcome mat.
Sucks. I mean, I'm not going to go around everybody's house going, take your welcome mat off the front porch. I mean, you're inviting evil into your home. Like,
I guess my question is, what would be? I mean, you going to tell them, or you even no? I
it depends on the person. Like, I'm not going to walk in and start like spouting face shit at him. I mean, it really depends.
No, I know that, but I mean, okay. So, do you feel uncomfortable going into a house that has a welcome mat?
No, because it's not my house. If it's a really good friend and they know the stuff that I'm into, I'd be like, maybe don't put that there. But no, I don't.
Yeah.
So I wonder what would happen. I wonder what would happen if you walk up to somebody's door and they've got a welcome mat, and you feel like you do about this stuff, and you just reach down and turned it over. Just flipped it over,
Well, it's still there. Trust me, they're gonna know it's there. It doesn't matter if it's flipped over or not.
But yeah, no, I think that whole thing is kind of like the same. I have the same approach. It's like the difference between Bible thumping and then if someone else opens up the door and wants to have a conversation with you about the Bible or whatever, instead of just going up and be like, have you heard the word? Like,
you're the Jehovah's Witness of the Anti-Fae League.
What word? Are you mean a tuna fish sandwich? Yeah. So, but if you want to talk about
time to talk about the evils of the Fae in our world, the trappings of the Fae. Do you have time, brother, to talk about the trappings of the Fae this fine afternoon?
Right. But I mean, if you think about it, like how far does that go? Because like Tex brought up the welcome mat. That's like I remember when I first thought about that for vampire thing. I'm like, oh shit, you already let them in. You know what I mean? But then by the same
invitations, yeah,
right. But then by the same right, we all have mirrors in our houses. And mirrors are supposed to be portals.
Mirrors are portals. You should never have a mirror that faces your bed. By the way,
yeah.
What?
I was reading what she wrote.
Now I have to take the one off my ceiling. That's crap, Monica.
Yeah. Not supposed to have a mirror that faces your bed at night. It's not good.
I'm just playing. My roof couldn't.
And you're not supposed to be able to see a mirror when you walk in your front door. I forget what that was about.
What?
Yeah, if you're hanging mirrors in your house, you're not supposed to hang a mirror. So when you walk in your front door, that's the first thing you see.
I know some people they won't like have mirrors in their house and stuff. It's like, or no black mirrors or something. I don't know. It's weird.
No black mirrors?
Yeah, or something.
Yeah.
Or they, and I'm with you, Shade. But no, I mean, or maybe I'm thinking that there was something about mirrors, and I was in a conversation with somebody about mirrors, and we were talking about they mentioned something about, well, you have to watch out for the black mirrors too. So I mean, like a computer screen.
Oh, reflections through like a TV that's turned off,
or anything.
Your phone screen that's off. Yeah.
But so I'm like, well, hell, I can't even turn the TV off and be safe. What the hell?
Yeah, well, then I'm in trouble because my TV's like right there facing my bed.
You know,
My mirror's off to the side.
what the hell does a cloth do?
It prevents them from looking in on you, And okay, so the cloth over the mirror was more a death
The
custom.
death thing, yeah.
Yeah, because it was thought
spirit
that
wouldn't get trapped.
the spirit would stop on its way out of the house, and it would either get distracted by its own reflection and not leave, or it would get caught inside the mirror and get trapped there.
That
Yeah,
makes
you
you wonder. That makes you wonder about the whole mirror on the wall thing. You know, what was that really? I mean,
So
they
that
said it
was
was an enchanted mirror, but
the really angry ancestor caught in the mirror that didn't
Yeah.
get covered up at the time of death.
That's a Mandela effect.
What?
Mirror on the wall. It never existed. It was magic mirror on the wall. If you watch the VHS of or any of them, DVD, it's magic mirror on the wall. Why were we all saying mirror on the wall this whole time?
I don't remember Magic Mirror, but okay.
I don't either.
I also remember the Monopoly guy with a monocle, and I remember the Fruit of the Loom having the stupid cornucopia.
what is the whole thing with the Monopoly guy?
He doesn't have a monocle.
Yeah, the single eye piece.
Yeah.
Never had it.
I know the Peanuts guy had a monocle.
The Peanuts guy.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, the planters.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But so did the Monopoly guy. Just like if you watch Ace Ventura 2, the old dude coming down the staircase with the monocle, he goes, and you must be the Monopoly guy because he's got the monocle and he's in a tux.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Yeah, right. Now I got to look this shit up.
And Cho says people confuse the Monopoly guy with the Pringles guy. Sure, Cho.
I don't know. I didn't. I remember the monocle.
I remember.
Oh, actually, someone found.
Here's a picture of it right here. He has a monocle.
Where?
Yeah.
It's on the board itself.
Where are you looking at?
I'm looking at the game.
Okay, well, share your screen or something. You're pointing like, here it is right here, and I don't see anything.
It's right there. I'm telling you, it's right there.
Just take my word for it. See?
Yeah.
Look in the mirror of my glasses. It's right there.
There it is.
See? On the chants and the other stuff.
There. Yeah, see that one right there. Fourth one over. If you scroll up. That's the one I remember, the red bubble right there. That's what I remember.
Right there? Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whatever Parker Brothers or whatever who did it, they even put out a statement that said no, he's never had a monocle.
I know every time I go to a antique store and I cross a booth that has board games in it, I try to find Monopoly games. I try to find something, that proves it.
Okay, so I don't care about.
Just type in, did he ever have a monocle?
No, because they'll tell me no.
Well, yeah, see, and that's what we've already discussed this, but that's what I hate about freaking.
Yeah, you got to go to page like 87 to find like actual shit that isn't influenced.
Right. Well, yeah, with I guess with non-physical books, you know what I mean? Like with the internet, they can put anything, and
yeah, you got to find the old hard copies.
Yeah, a magazine paper when it came out, be like the new game, Monopoly, and then has a picture right there. There was one that I came across.
Joe said Parker Brothers are full of shit.
There was one that I came across where it actually has pictures of the Titanic being towed back to
What?
Yeah, like it didn't sink. It got
That
hit the
wasn't
iceberg.
that wasn't. No.
And then there was this one survivor. She was interviewed and said that she was like, no, it didn't sink. And they're like, yeah, it sank. She's like, no, it didn't. We rowed it back. It was towed back by the USS Henderson or something like that.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, what else is going on in her dimension?
But there's
Because that sure didn't happen in this one.
Yeah, right.
Like, I promise you it did not happen in this one.
But sorry, I didn't mean to stray off on the Mandela thing.
Yeah,
That was not my intention. I know we're only like a third of the way through the Crossroads, so
no, we're good. We can stop talking about Crossroads whenever. I mean, we've pretty much covered it. I mean, nobody really has any questions in chat, which was my my final thoughts is, do you have questions in chat? I think that I might record because I have to get on and start recording shorts again. So I might break down Crossroads into like several shorts that are a little more in depth, where I can go into like, I mean, there's folklore from Brazil that deals with Crossroads. Okay, you're distracting me, Tex. I'm hiding that.
Trying to prove us right here.
Huh?
Trying to prove us right here.
Well, go for it. When you find it, pop it back up there.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
folklore has it. I mean, Brazil has it in their folklore. It's Great Britain, right, going back forever. And Transylvanian folklore deals with it. Like, you know, it's kind of Faustian, actually, the Transylvania folklore, where you go to a crossroads and you draw a circle and you leave some copper, usually coins, and you say a like incantation, and then the devil pops up and you can make your deal with them. So, I mean, it's all around the world. It's not just one area that this happens in. But I don't know those as well as I know like hoodoo stuff, like the spells. I mean, obviously part of the hoodoo is making the deal with the devil at midnight, but there's also like I said before, you know, like making deals, asking for help, asking like Papa Elegba to send messages to the other side, you know, and it all also depends on the different crossroads that you're at. So I can do a short, I guess, on each of the crossroads and dive a little more in depth, or I can just narrate, because I've got a whole script. I've got like half of a book written here. I can just share information with.
Well, see, that gives it like we always talk about, you know, that gives it a lot more validity. Because see, I figured there were some in, you know, modern day, either England or Great Britain type area, and then don't really hear anything about it until, of course, the Robert Johnson thing in the 20s in America. But then again, like you were saying with the hoodoo thing, you know, a lot of that was not even really public or common knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of that stuff stayed in the Everglades, you know, or whatever, in the bayou. You know what I mean? It didn't really, it didn't really come out. So, but now that you're saying that it goes as far as South America, then that spikes my curiosity, because once it's in multiple times and multiple continents, especially when those continents weren't having communications with each other, then now you're talking something. It's not a Ingram or whatever.
There's no clear connection. Like, it's similar, but there's no clear connection for one to influence the other, right?
Right. Yeah. Like pyramids. I mean, you know. Even though people go,
I mean,
"Oh,
that's stacking
it's
rocks at the end of the day.
it's a basic structure," but
Yeah.
but I mean, like, yeah.
Did you find what you were looking for, Tex? I say you brought it back up.
Not really.
Just okay.
Wedges said, "Monica, does gopher dust hold back evil entities?"
Goofer dust. No, it does not hold back evil entities. Goofer dust is what you use to cast a spell or transmit something to another person. Goofer dust is not used for any kind of good work.
I was wondering what kind of dust gophers make.
But goofer dust does contain graveyard dirt. So,
I
mean, graveyard dirt, crossroads dirt. Graveyard dirt's very powerful, depending on the age of the graveyard, the grave you're taking it out of. All of that has a influence on the end product.
Okay, well, I can't find no freaking monocle.
Okay. Did you go to page 87?
My dumb ass is like, "Oh, gopher dust. You know, the sawdust that they would get from whenever they cut down trees. That's gopher dust."
Gopher dust. It's at the base of the trees. You can tell it by the intricate gnawing just above it.
What is gopher? What is it? Goofer or gopher dust?
Goofer.
Goofer dust.
Yeah.
What the hell is goofer dust?
Goofer dust is used in spellcasting. It's you mix it in with a bunch of junk, we'll just say, and you blow it in the face of people. If you've seen, I think it's a Serpent in the Rainbow where they blow it in that guy. That's goofer dust.
Okay. That was a great movie.
Is it great? I haven't seen it in ages.
That was required reading in 6th grade.
The Serpent in the Rainbow? Yeah. What school did you go to? Holy shit. I had to read like frickin' Of Mice and Men.
Yeah, it was Of Mice and Men and Serpent in the Rainbow. It got passed out right before you left for summer of 5th grade, and then you were supposed to get quizzed on it 1st of 6th grade. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I had to read Of Mice and Men. Actually, like in 6th grade, we didn't have assigned reading like that. We were able to read whatever we wanted. We had to do book reports out the wazoo, but we didn't have like assigned reading. I didn't get all that junk until like junior high. And then in high school, it got progressively weirder. Like I had to read Brave New World. And I remember Brave New World. I was like, what the hell am I reading? Soft porn? Like, what am I reading? You know. Yeah, The Lord of the Flies, which was super depressing.
Freaking weird.
Yeah, it was just sad. The Chocolate Wars. I remember the Chocolate Wars.
Yeah, no, I didn't read Serpent in the Rainbow or Of Mice and Men. I had already given up on school, so I didn't read it.
Yeah, Of Mice and Men was the first book I read that made me cry. Like it made me like cry. But I mean, and I was reading Stephen King like way before I read Of Mice and Men. I didn't get freaked out, but I read Of Mice and Men. I'm like,
yeah, I was reading on my own before that. And
the first book that ever made me cry was Where the Red Fern Grows.
Oh sure.
Boom.
Yeah, I'll do it. I
was just fixing to say that. Yeah, Where the Red Fern Grows and The Day No Pigs Would Die. That was a great one.
Animal Farm's kind of sad too.
I don't know if y'all remember that. What was it called? It was a series. It was called Soup. And there was like Soup for President, Me and Soup, and it was like a series. But
I don't remember that
original. Yeah, it was kind of like what are the two kids? Huckleberry Finn and his homeboy.
Tom Sawyer.
It's kind of like, yeah. it was kind of like that. It was about these two kids who grew up. They'd go sneak off and smoke their corncob pipes and get into antics and get their,
Okay.
hide. Yeah, they'd get their lickings in the end, from the parents and stuff. But it stems from a book called The Day No Pigs Would Die. And that one was I think I read that thing 3 to 4 times before I was out of elementary school. But yeah, that's one of those, like the red fern grows. That one gets right to you.
Yeah, no. I don't want to read anything that makes me cry. Donnie Cho says he was big into Dungeons and Dragons novels. You know what I was big into? I was big into the Dungeon Master's book that was like that thick, and it had every single thing imaginable in the Dungeons and Dragons world in it. That was pretty freaking cool. And that helped feed my interest in like mythology, because a lot of it was mythology based. Exciting news coming in.
Man, my phone's been blowing up all freaking day.
You're just popular, Tex.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's
Take it as a compliment.
So,
Mm-hmm.
we was talking on Rob was talking on the show earlier, and he was talking about this aquatic cryptid. And I know me and you we like aquatic cryptids. And he was talking about this story where this and where the hell was it? But anyway, he saw these footprints, and as they got closer to the water, they became webbed. They were human-like footprints, and they became webbed. And when the guy was in the boat, he would see these like these how fish boils,
Uh-huh.
and you would see those, and then something was it was like banging out Morse code on his boat, and they allegedly translated the Morse code, and it said, "I'm cursed, help me."
Oh my God.
And this was like in a freshwater lake, and it's like, what the hell?
Oh, you're cursed, help me. Okay, cursed how? Cursed how? Because I'm not aware of any curses that turn you into mer people.
I found a couple, but they were like none of them were here, in the States.
I mean, I know fae that will drag you into fresh water. I know, stories of mermaids, sirens, kelpies, selkies that will drag you out, but they're killing you. They're not turning you into anything, And I can't, I'm trying to think, there were Native American legends about like water horses that would drag you out and drown you. But again, were they turning you? No, they weren't turning you into it.
Yeah, the bloop. Granddad said the bloop. Yeah, that's my.
Oh, the bloop.
That's my most horrific freaking ideology of a sea cryptid or an
Why don't you tell everybody about the bloop?
Well, it triggers my megalophobia because they're like.
Well, I know.
The bloop is the thing, man. I mean, it's a real deal.
It's Cthulhu. It's Cthulhu.
Cthulhu, yeah, right. So it all comes from they were doing underwater oceanic audio, and that's what they caught was the bloop. And when they triangulated it, it was heard from South America, Upper North America, and I believe either the Philippines or Hawaii area. And whenever they did all the math on it, how big the sound was generated from something that was big enough to where it could fit easily like 3 blue whales in its mouth at one time. Like that's how big this thing had to be. and there's other than that one bloop, there's nothing really on it other than what they kind of, I guess audio mathematic triangulation put together. But there are artist renditions of how big this thing would have to be, and like a human diver isn't even a half of a tooth on this thing. Like, it's
right? Yeah, it's Thulu. It's Thulu.
Yeah,
it's Thulu.
Yeah,
which is going to tie into the book I'm going to recommend later tonight.
or Leviathan.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Which could be the same thing.
Yeah, could be the same thing.
So, do you think? What do you think the bloop is?
If it is what they say it is, then yeah, like I wouldn't say Cthulhu, because like Cthulhu's like the old gods and stuff. But yeah, like I would go towards any either biblical or ancient Mesopotamian or even Sumerian, these big giant freaking things that are, huge freaking going.
I'm on board with Donnie.
Just the earth farting?
Just the earth farting?
Yeah.
You're working against us, Tex.
I don't know. When I was a kid, I made bloops in the bathtub all the time.
Everybody did. Just like Eddie Murphy. You can smell it. You can smell it. Everybody did. Aquatic Nephilim. A little twisted said. Definitely aquatic Nephilim.
Well, and then now there's that theory of how, well, I don't know if it's a theory, but a lot of people are pointing to it. There's that big serpent head looking thing that's in between South America and Antarctica, and they're saying that thing's waking up and it's a giant freaking Leviathan.
All right, I'll look into that one because that's one I don't know that I'm familiar with.
Yeah, it literally looks like it goes between the little tail of South America and that little upward tail of Antarctica. And yeah, it looks like a freaking serpent head. And then right at the end, it has like these 3 or 4 or 5 islands that are smoking. And then they go, how like whenever alligators, when they freeze, or gators, they freeze, they put their nose up right above.
Yeah.
And then they go into freeze mode. So they're going, now that's what it is, and now it's finally waking up. And on the coastline where its scales are, the coastline looks like scales, and it has an unusual red rock that looks like blood from scales. Yeah, it's pretty weird. It's kind of far stretched. I'm not going to front.
So it's like a titan.
Yeah. But I mean, the what do you call that? Where you see faces and things. That is definitely, that is definitely Paragolia. Yeah, that is definitely a huge. What would you call it? It's either like a huge coincidence or it's one or the other. I'll put it that way. Yeah.
That's interesting. But, there's all kinds of geologic outcroppings, let's say, that people liken to different things. I mean, and they're like back in the day, they were waypoints, right? Go to the buffalo's head, go to the giant, snake head or whatever you want to call it, and then turn right.
Yeah, look at it from a different angle. I'll tell you one that is weird though is that freaking Elephant Island looking one. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about, where it looks like an elephant's laying in the water, and it's you can see the trunk and the freaking eye. Yeah, that one's weird, and it's actually just so happens to be a screensaver on my Amazon Prime stick. Like if I don't pay attention to them, like texting or whatever, and it goes into like screensaver mode, it's right there. But yeah, that thing is freakishly. You can see the tail, you can see thighs, you can see shoulder, you know, and you can see the trunk going into the water. It's friggin' weird. Yeah, I'll see. Maybe I can find it. Hang on.
You two what?
Let's see.
So let's see here. There was one. What aquatic crop? Jesus Christ! What
aquatic cryptid?
That. Thank you. You know that's a. Say that 5 times fast.
Aquatic cryptid. Aquatic cryptid. Aquatic cryptid. Aquatic cryptid. I got it. Yeah, I know. Great. I know. Please continue. What aquatic cryptid does what?
Well, you threw me off now.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, this thing.
Oh.
See, it looks. You can see the tail. You can see the trunk, eyes.
That's interesting.
Just weird.
Do we have pictures of it pre AI?
Yeah. Well, we'd have to look at a Encyclopedia Britannica, but yeah.
Yeah.
So but, I mean, it wouldn't be far of a stretch to think that, you know, some of those, if there were giants of the past, that some of them did get, you know, what do you call that? Like when wood turns to stone, petrified. Yeah.
I'm just here, wingman in y'all.
Wingman in me.
Yeah.
What? With
aquatic cryptids.
I thought you'd
done Mothman. You're Mothman in us, not Wingman in us.
Caw-caw!
Caw-caw!
Yeah, you got people leaving comments on the channel. Caw-caw! Caw-caw!
Yeah, I know. It's my tagline. Caw-caw! Slavic. They've got some crazy stuff. Hasterman.
So yeah,
that's a waterman, Wasserman.
That's an interesting one, I thought.
That's what I look like in the morning.
A naked man with a pot belly wearing a hat or belt of reeds. I'd quickly walk the other way. I wouldn't go investigate.
When angered, he breaks dams, washes down water mills, drowns people and animals.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I would politely walk the other way. Look at those hands. Look at those hands.
Look at he's a frog with a beard.
Yeah, he looks like a river otter and a frog mixed together.
Well, the beekeepers, fishermen, millers, they all make sacrifices to appease him.
I would too.
And he would sometimes drag people down to his underwater dwelling to serve as his slaves.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Well, I'd put a 12-pack of Budweiser in there every night.
I'm already somebody's slave. I got to go to work tomorrow.
The man.
I'm a slave to the man in the dollar. Naked man with a pot belly. This could be like, this is hilarious. Naked man with a pot belly. This could be any of us on bath salts.
I was going to say, that's what Jen sees every time I wake up. I got to go take a shower.
Okay. Okay, so I was answering Josh Castro. He said, "Caw, caw,
Cacao.
yee, tuki, 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 tuki." That's from oh, what's that movie with the aliens that come down? It's got David Duchovny in it. Evolution.
I was going to say X-Files.
No, Evolution. If you haven't seen it, you need to go see it. It's hilarious.
Evolution.
Mm-hmm. It's old, but it's funny.
It's a movie.
Mm-hmm. I think we have established that caca, caca, and tuki, tuki do not work.
My grandson was over today, and he saw the advertisements for Dog Man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he wants to go. He wants to see Dog Man.
Oh. Well, my son, when he was in early elementary school, he liked a comic book called Dog Man. And I got all excited thinking, oh, cool, my kid's into some creepy shit early. No, it's an actual dog that walks onto, like, it's a superhero.
That's what this is.
That's
what this is. They made a movie out of it.
And I'd always get so disappointed. I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah, it's a cartoon movie that's coming out.
I mean, I don't want to scare the crap out of my son, but also I was like kind of in the back of my mind hoping that he would be a little more into the spooky stuff. Not the adorable cartoon dog wearing pants and a cape.
Well, welcome, Melissa. I'm glad I popped up on your feed. You can join Monica at our Paranormal World every Thursday night, unless she's got something going on. But
she just decides not to show up.
But no, that Dogman thing, I was looking at it, and to me, it's how would you call it? It's like the opposite of predictive programming. To me, it's them
chaotic programming.
Yeah, like making us look crazy. You know what I mean? Like, oh no, and or you know how they swap. You know, like in 10 years, if you look up Dogman, all you're going to see is that show or a comic book or movie if it becomes popular. Yeah. You know, and you're not going to see.
That's all it pops up now. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but that's what I'm getting at. It's just like if you look up Tesla, you're going to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to see the Elon Musk thing, and you're not going to see who Nikola Tesla was. You know what I mean? It's like they bury it. They bury that whole thing. Allegedly.
For entertainment purposes only.
Sure.
Well, Melissa, maybe you'll see the rest of us pop up on your feed too, since you stumbled onto this.
Yeah.
Look for Blondes and Booze, Texas Front Porch, Donnie that stuff, which is in the chat.
Yeah, if you want some real
awful,
check out
Paranormal Portal. There's a bunch of us.
Yeah,
Paranormal Portal.
We got a whole family.
If you're looking for professional and well organized, go visit Paranormal Portal. If you're looking for chaotic, we talk about whatever pops into our head at the moment. You've landed at the right place. And Joe has his show on tomorrow night. Tomorrow night at 10 over on the Breezy Speakeasy. That's Joe's channel. Yeah. And he talks about some pretty cool stuff because Joe is a very smart cat.
And let me be the first to welcome you to the Island of Misfit Toys.
Yep. That is Texas' nickname for all of us. Because that's kind of what we are.
Oh, it fits.
Misfits. We're a bunch of weirdos. So welcome, fellow weirdos. We're glad you found us. You're home.
You know what? That's not near as creepy as you usually say when you usually say welcome.
Welcome.
No, because when most time when you start your show, it's like, welcome, kittens.
Oh, welcome.
Yeah, welcome, cats and kittens.
Like,
you got to emphasize the head nod and the zoom in. Welcome, cats and kittens.
It's because I'm uncomfortable and I don't know what to say, so I'm like,
But that's almost has to be followed up with it pushed the lotions on the skin. You know what I mean?
Or else it gets the hose again. We made Joe cough up his shot.
You can't get me a mid drink like that, Tex. Damn it.
Did you not say blah blah blah? Yes. So,
yeah.
Hello, cats and kittens. It's Monica with Our Paranormal World. And tonight we're going to talk about Crossroads.
That's funny. Yeah, no, I told you I was watching your first show that I was on. And it was just like that. It was great. I was laughing my ass off through the whole thing. I was like, yeah, because it was like unscripted. It reminded me like Saturday Night Live or something, just completely
thoroughly
unscripted out there.
You can tell if I have a script or not because I get real stiff when I have a script, and if I'm just winging it, I'm like, whatever. Yeah. Thanks for showing up and listening to me ramble about whatever the hell pops into my head tonight.
Right.
It's going to be a roller coaster because there's all kinds of shit dancing around in my head on the regular, let me tell you.
I can vouch for that.
And I'm the same, so it makes it a great combo. Tex vouches it and holds the line, and me and Monica just go nutty with it.
You know, I know this is kind of, I would say off topic, but no, we're that's.
I don't have a topic anymore. We've discussed the topic. We talked about it for a solid 50 minutes.
Yeah, we've about beat that horse as much.
I can beat it more, but I don't feel like it.
Well, why don't you? It's your show.
Well, because I'm going to do shorts on it.
Okay, all right. So,
I always beat it with shorts on. I mean, wait, what?
I heard.
I think it's weird that one with that, but two that you know those Bigfooters that got killed or died, whatever, yes. However you choose to look at it, you can't find anything on it.
Did they ever release their names?
No, they didn't. They haven't released anything. The updates I can't find anything after like a couple of days after it happened.
That's interesting.
No updates whatsoever. Somebody left me a message that said that they watched a show where somebody claimed to be relatives of them, and they said they were tore up when they found them. That's it. I can't find no news about it. Not since.
Would you consider us a news channel?
Huh?
Would you consider us a weird news channel? Like, could I call up and say I'm so and so with whatever, and I'm writing an article on, and I want your official take on this. Have you ever identified the victims?
Well, there you go.
Officially released the name of the victims. What was the cause of death in this case?
Yeah,
we're following up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Granddad.
You're going to be the one to can pull that off. Because I would be like, hey, y'all know anything about the dead guys? You're going to be all professional about it, and you'll sound believable.
Well, I'll just, I can bullshit with the best of them. I can do it.
Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah, I don't have enough of a filter to sound like that. No, but Granddad just says, what incident are we talking about? And I'm with him. I don't know what
yeah. No, you go ahead.
Right ahead. No. Sure, show.
I know, but you probably know more, but you covered it way more than I did.
Well, there's really not that, and that's the bad thing about it. There's not much to know because it was in Washington, and these two cats went out Christmas Eve to go Bigfoot hunting. Okay. And I do too, Mickey. But they didn't come back, so they called. It was this year,
2024. I didn't think it
Yeah,
was in
2024. They said,
Yeah, December of
2024. See, Wedge, no, I didn't hear that. So, but anyway, these two guys, they didn't come back. They narrowed the search down because the traffic cam spotted their car. Okay. And they found them in 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Supposedly, every report that was out there said that it appeared, and this is what they said, it appears, allegedly, this kind of language, that they died of exposure, and they were ill prepared.
Okay, yeah, that's what they were speculating when they first found the bodies.
Yeah. After that, radio silence.
Nothing.
Because they said they haven't released the names yet or the cause of death, but the official cause of death. But what was weird is, why aren't you releasing the names? Because it was a family member that called y'all. So they knew what happened.
Right. The family's already notified.
They know who it is.
Yeah, the family's already notified. So that's what they wait on before they release the name. I can't find any names or anything. Yeah.
So we got to dig into it. We got to get, all of us, the whole community, dig into it. I'm trying to remember.
I got out of the
Big County. I know that.
Drama got knee deep. Hey, I'm with you. We are no drama llamas here. Okay. No drama llamas. We don't do drama.
No, I just walk away if it gets dramatic. I don't feed it.
Yeah, we don't bring it in.
I ain't feeding that monster.
Hey, JoJo. Yeah, Johnny Cho says they were ill prepared for being torn up by Bigfoot. Well, thank you. I'm so glad you joined us, Melissa. Please check us all out. You might find something you like. We do true crime also. So
that's always fun.
Man, that last case I did.
Which one was it?
Cohey. Brian Cohey, I think was his name. So here's what happened. His mother is like cleaning up his room or cleaning out his closet, something like that.
Oh, I know this one. Yeah.
She finds that there's a plastic bag in there. She opens this plastic bag and there's a human head in it.
Oh my gosh.
And then there's another bag that's got human hands in it. So,
It was the homeless guy, right?
But he really wasn't homeless. He was one of these guys. He had a job. He had a place that he stayed. He wasn't technically homeless, but he lived like he was by choice. But yeah, it was the homeless guy. But you ought to see the video where he walks up and talks to where the cops walk up and talk to him. This 19-year-old kid.
And I think I've seen that. I think I've seen, because didn't his mom called the cops on him and she kind of waited outside.
Yeah.
When they came into, but his younger brother, I thought, was in the house too. Like he had a 16-year-old brother.
Yeah, his dad was there, his brother was there, his mom was there. But yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and he was very nonchalant about it.
He's proud of it.
It kind of reminded me of the Dahmer thing. He's like,
I'll tell you who he reminds me of. Kemper. That's who he reminds me of. I mean, he's a big dude. He's like 6'1" and he weighs like 250 pounds, but so he's a good sized kid, but his mannerisms.
Yeah, like zero F's given. Like couldn't
Yes.
be bothered. Yeah,
And he's very willing to talk. He's very, oh yeah, you know, this and that, and this is why I did it, and that's one of the most chilling things is when he says why he did it. He says, I just wanted to know what murder felt like.
Okay. That's what they say.
And then it comes out that
feels like
his mother and father actually found because he was planning on killing and torturing prostitutes. And before he did this was just a crime of opportunity. Okay. He was going to do a couple of prostitutes. He'd put murder kits together. They found his murder kits and threatened to call the police. They said, you either throw them away or we're going to call the cops.
No. Thwarted by mom and dad again.
You know, and then he kills this cat with basically a butcher knife and dismembers him with only a butcher knife. Cuts his hands off.
You know how hard it is to cut through, like, bone and sinew?
Decapitates him, cuts his legs off, and dumps his torso in the river. Leaves his legs and his arms under the bridge where he killed him, takes his head and his hands home, and dumps his torso in the river. The cops walk around the bridge pillar.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, there's an arm, there's a leg, that looks like either a lower leg or upper arm.
Well, they found his kill site too, right?
That was the kill site.
Yeah, it was under the bridge.
Yeah, that's where all the arms and legs were.
But I thought he took them with him.
No, he took the hands and the head with him.
And
he took the torso with him, dumped the torso in the river.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it was just, he was proud of what he did. He really was. His confession's killing.
That's upsetting. There are people wandering around that just kill because they want to know what it feels like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know,
that's.
But he was diagnosed. He was diagnosed with when he was young, with ADHD and autism, and then he started showing. They said he started showing signs because this is his psychiatrist that was, you know, saying this stuff, that he was showing signs of dissociative, socialized
personality disorder.
Personality disorder. Yeah. And they recommended that he get further evaluated because there appeared to be other psychosis present.
Yeah. You think?
Okay.
Yeah.
And so they tried to find a psychiatrist to see him, and nobody in their area would see him. They all refused.
Yeah.
And the closest, and this was in Colorado, it was Grand Rapids, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And the closest place they could find somebody to see him was Denver.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just
not everybody wants to take that kind of crazy on.
Well, yeah, and I guarantee you that particular psychiatrist wanted big bucks. It was probably bigger than the insurance was willing to pay. Because, okay, so I spent 2.5 years at a mental institution, like locked up, like completely in residential treatment, and I've wanted to do a show on how they treat mental disorders, and because it's a big money pit, it's more about a money game than anything. If you don't have the insurance or you can't pay them, pay specialists the right amount, they just pop you full of freaking pills and, let you just kind of numb your way through life. But I don't know how far that'll get me into the red zone as far as like the channel is concerned, but it is real. And anytime you go to jail, anybody who's ever been to jail, There's so many mentally ill people that just really need more help than anything.
Yes.
And they're not internally bad people. It's just that they have no guidance and they have no way to express or resolute their deficiency.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's what it is. Like they'll just pump you full of Thorazine and make you go to sleep for, instead of helping you through whatever your psychosis.
Mhm.
Right. Now, there are, I mean, just broken people out there that are you're not going to rehabilitate them. I mean,
Yeah.
This is true.
They're damaged. You know what I'm saying?
They're just wired. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just wired different. Plus, what they're finding out in most of these, like these serial killer cases, is they've got frontal lobe damage.
Mm-hmm.
And most of them do. They, I mean, whether it's getting hit in the head by a swing when you're a kid, like, Gary Ridgway, or falling off of something like, I think it was Gacy that did that. And I mean, it's just.
Oh yeah, especially the way playgrounds were built back in the day. I mean, even in our day, shoot.
Yeah.
I had a yard dart stuck in my head.
Yeah, you fall from those 15-foot monkey bars, you can do some damage mentally and physically.
Yeah. And you hit every rung on the way down too.
See, my favorite thing is I remember this playground that me and my cousin used to go to. It was in Texarkana. Of course, that ought to tell you something. But it had this rocket that was made out of metal, and it was just bars, and you climbed up through it. That thing was like 2 stories, 3 stories high.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And if you were
looking at the roof of the
on the outside of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember those. I remember us falling off of them. I remember slipping down like 3 rungs and still was like 10 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd bruised and banged and sore from like literally hitting every rung on the way down.
Yeah.
Yeah. The rocket one, I remember that. And the safe
with
one
a slide, JoJo. Exactly. Yeah.
The safe one was that the one that McDonald's made. It was that cheeseburger, or was it the cop? And you'd climb up to the top, and you'd be inside the cheeseburger with the hamburglar thing. Yeah, it was like it was Sheriff. I forgot his name. It was like Sheriff something.
Things freaked me out.
But yeah, when I was a kid, I remember had to have been 1st or 2nd grade in Go Valley, which is a horrible neighborhood. It looked like a straight razor, and that's all it was. It was just a flat piece of iron or metal, maybe aluminum, whatever, that started at about 3 feet, and then it gradually got to about 10 to 12 feet. And you just see how far you could climb on it, and then you just slide straight down into the freaking dirt.
Just slide straight on the razor.
Yeah, exactly. And the
Survival of the fittest. That was our Lord of the Flies as a child. Our whole playground was the Lord of the Flies.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh my!
But yeah, getting back to the point, any kind of those, like if you suffer concussions at young enough of an age, and like Tex was saying, if it damages your frontal lobe, then you got all sorts of miscommunications firing in your synapses. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, and then you think all the crazy stuff when it comes to mental health. Before that, the answer was putting a freaking ice pick in the corner of your eye.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or electric therapy. Bite down on this stick while we freaking slowly
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Cold water therapy. All of that. It's torture. It's just torture.
It is. So I think, Man, actually, I ought to do one on that because, mental health has gone, like another instance back in the day, if your wife complained too much, you could have her committed to
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
a serious institution where they're doing stuff like that to
Yeah,
you.
whatever happened in the good old days?
They're coming back, apparently.
Right? You don't have to do the dishes. You're going to the nut house. But yeah, that is a very.
We're going to see those days come back.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking real forward to it.
Yeah.
As the resident estrogen factory here, I got to tell you, like, the future sure looks bright for me.
It wouldn't bother me much. I'm like, lock me up, throw away the key.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could look at it as like a extended vacation with cool drugs.
Yeah,
There you go.
I don't have to be responsible anymore. Maybe it's not so bad.
Just don't tell me you have a history of drug addiction in your family, because then they won't give you Thorazine.
Nope.
And then it's a real bummer.
No, I need that Thorazine.
It's great.
Never had it. I don't know. How about some lithium? I'll take the lithium. I hear
Lithium's all right. It just takes a while to kick in. You got to go about 6 weeks.
I'll take your word for it.
Trust me.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, we've been on for an hour and 37 minutes. We're going to do my book review and then we can wrap it up.
Sounds good.
Sound good? Let me
Right
pull
on.
up the old media assets.
As long as
I'm
you pull
hungry.
it to a solid minute and 40, I'll be all right.
No, I'm going to end it like at 42 and 15 seconds.
I nailed it again the other night, didn't I, Joe?
On double zeros, man. On the dot.
That takes some talent. That takes
I've
some
done it twice.
talent. All right. So book review time. Doo-doo-doo. Okay. I need a cool intro for my book review. Like Rob got for the weird news. I still think you should have used the old MTV news intro. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. With the
something like that, or something like Brandy's meme of the week thing. Meme of the week.
I only want that if Randy actually dances that little dance you just did. That would bring me joy. Okay, so
does it bring you joy when I do it? I see how it is.
Well, I like when you do it, but
that's cool.
Seeing Randy do a little like 1920s like tap dance there would.
Randy or Brandy?
Randy with an R. Brandy is sweet and she would probably do it. Randy is a curmudgeon and it would make me laugh.
Well, Brandy does. I'm talking about Brandy doing the whole meme of the week thing on their show.
I didn't know she did that.
Oh yeah.
Well, I still want to see Randy do it with an R. Randy with an R. Okay, book time. We've got Greg Beck. And I know I've mentioned some of his books before, but guys, I've got to tell you, this author is great. I love him. He mixes science fiction with real science to write these books. And they're all just an adventure. And this book that we're going to talk about is the first book, really. I mean, there's a couple of like lead up books. They're not like meant to be like book one or book two. But it's Matt Kearns, and he's an archaeologist, a linguist. He's a professor at Harvard. He's a really smart guy. And he gets pulled into these military operations that are crazy. He's always the reluctant hero. He doesn't want to do them, but he gets sucked into them because he's so smart. And this is the Book of the Dead. And in this one, they're going around the world trying to figure out the mystery of land that is just dropping, like sinkholes opening up, except there's no groundwater that is causing the earth to fall. It's solid bedrock dropping down several hundred feet. And then everybody who falls with it that survives, their bodies aren't found. And we discovered that it's tied to the Necronomicon. and they dive all into the Lovecraft stories. He tries to tie it into how in this world it is a real thing. They think it's not real, but they find the actual Book of the Dead, and it's an adventure. It's an adventure. And if you like H.P. Lovecraft and you're a fan of action adventure and science fiction, I really recommend all of the Greg Beck novels. All of them are great, but the Book of the Dead specifically deals with the Necronomicon and Lovecraftian horrors, and I think you should go check it out.
Rock and roll.
Right.
Or you can go read Daisy Darker.
Or you can go read Daisy Darker, that I will get around to eventually. For Tex. Okay, so does anybody want to say anything before I play our outro?
I'd just throw my movie recommendation in. Go check out Crossroads with Ralph Macchio and what's her freaking name? Radon Chong. It ties into the whole Robert Johnson thing, but it still has the same kind of concept. Very cool movie, a lot of good music in it, and just all around fun 80s stuff. So go do your homework.
Go do it. And be sure to catch us tomorrow night on Breezy Speakeasy over on Joe's channel at the Breezy Speakeasy. We're going to talk about, what is it, ghosts, or
I'm divvying up between ghosts and aliens, or we might just do a mixture, because it's been done so many times, it's been beaten to death. But I have a lot of I want to do a lot of comparisons because, as everybody knows, I'm a flat earther, but there is a lot of weird stuff about how they've been told that they're from a part of space that isn't even visible by the human eye, and ancient civilizations have done that as well. They're talking about Polaris and stuff like that, which you can't see physically, but it's been known. So those are interesting topics to me. So I think I want to dive into a little bit of that, and who knows, it might carry on to ghost, and then to what's the best liquor you ever drank, because it's the Speakeasy.
That's right.
We'll find out.
Gin girl, Ginny Gin. Anything from you, Tex?
I've got Heather Mosier on Monday.
Ooh, fun. So everybody go check out Texas Front Porch Monday.
Yeah. And if you don't know who Heather Mosier is, she's a producer. She's a professor, but she works with Small Town Monsters Studios. Mm-hmm. And she's very, very much. I think I'm going to get her back on the whole Bell Witch subject. She loves that subject.
Now, there you go. That's one you don't hear a lot of people talking about. Yeah. Okay, so that's it from us. Check us out. Check out Breezy Speakeasy tomorrow night, where I will be on there. I'm sure Tex will join us if he's not dragged off by the missus. And then check out everybody else. BMR is on Saturday night. I'll be on with him then. We've got the True Crime Show with Tex on Sunday night still, right?
Yeah, me and Danielle. So.
And then on Monday, over on the Front Porch, he's got Ms. Mosier. So make sure that we check that out. And until next time, cats and kittens, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you later.
This is the future. Evolution. This is the future.